what terrifies you? I mean, like, really, tell me that thing that's for you that's like, oh man, like, oh boy, you know what I mean? Is it a fear of, achieving a certain goal? Fear of public speaking? Scared to have that difficult conversation with somebody? I mean, we all know this particular one for a lot of people is a heavy number. That's fear of death. Think about that one thing for you that strikes like the most terror. Identify it. What is the easiest way to overcome these fears? What's the most effective way to deal with them? I think I'd almost like to reframe that. And, we're making an assumption when we say that, right? So we're saying like, here's fear. I should potentially tackle fear, right? But what if fear wasn't really like real? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if fear, truthfully, at its core is a belief and it's tangible in the mind per se, but you can't really tackle something that's not in existence. Like, the true conversation we should be having is the recognition that fear is an illusion. Like, that Joan is fake. You know what I mean? Like, it is not real. And I know some of you listening may be like, all right, bruv, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, easily said, but my heart can go on overdrive sometimes when I'm scared. You know what I mean? I stutter when I'm nervous. That's tangible. I hear you. And we're about to rock that boat a little bit. Just give me a couple minutes of your time. But to start, I want to incorporate a gentleman named Sanguru. And my boy sums up fear perfectly in this particular piece.
The fear is simply because you're not living with life, you're living in your mind. Your fear is always about what's going to happen next. That means your fear is always about that which does not exist. If your fear is about the non-existent, your fear is 100% imaginary. So your suffering is always about that which does not exist, simply because you're not rooted in reality. You're always rooted in your mind.
I mean, can I end the video right here? Like, what my guy is putting down is irrefutable. Take a sec. Why are we stressing what doesn't exist? Like, for what? Like, just think of all the times you feared something happening in the future. Like, please, you might be doing it right now. Did it actually end up happening? I'm pretty sure there are countless times where that John never happened. And now think of all the like stress, worry, mental bandwidth, energy, and all that was put into that thought of something for nothing. For nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's funny when we break it down, but it's obviously not funny when it's happening. But I'm here to say, let's make it funny, because when we can look at it that way and just be like, yo, you're like, truthfully, that thing that I'm thinking about right now is not real. We could just be like, bruv, like, I'm not going there with you. Because like, once you recognize how phony, many of our fears truly are, you're truthfully able to tell your mind, like, I'm not playing this game with you anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we play, you win, I don't win. Like, I'm not trying to play games like that. See, that's where our power is as individuals. That's where it lies. It's going to our mind and letting it know, like, no, like, this is mine now.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Here's the rub, like, the last thing you want to do is take these non-existent illusions and fears we're thinking of and then take action off of it externally. See, that's where like the unraveling of what you don't want can happen. And sometimes you actually also can create the situations that you feared. And some of you may still be on the fence like, yo, like, I'm hearing what you're saying, but I don't really vibe with that illusion and Sadhguru like that. Like, it doesn't resonate with me. Say less, like, I got you. Here's Mambo.
Myself, when I was younger, being consumed by a particular fear, and to the point where you're saying, okay, nah, it's not good to feel fear. I shouldn't be nervous in this situation, like, nah. And it does nothing but grow, versus stepping back and saying, yeah, I am nervous about the situation. Yeah, I am fearful about the situation. Well, what am I afraid of? And then you kind of unpack it. And then it gives you the ability to look at it for really what it is, which is nothing more than your imagination running its course. It's not really a thing, like you think about game-winning shots, and or game-winning free throws, and people go to the free throw line and they're nervous about it. Well, what are you really nervous about? If you unpack that, okay, you're nervous that you're going to miss the shot. All right, so you missed the shot, then what happens? People are going to be embarrassed. You're going to be embarrassed because thousands of people, millions of people see you miss the shot. All right, and then what? People are going to talk bad about you. Okay, right? And so you're looking at it and go, are those things even important? You know what I mean? If that is my fear, like what is, you worried about letting your teammates down? Okay, have you let them down before? Well, I'm sure in practice and things of that nature, right? They're still there.
Yeah.
You know? And so when you're able to unpack it, you kind of look at it for what it is, which is really nothing.
I know that one particular strategy might not align with everybody. And obviously, I don't have the opportunity to sit down with every single one of you and, you know, discover what you've tried, what you haven't tried, so that I could recommend like, oh, like I heard this jam. So what I try to do is to come with a number of different angles for you, of course, without making every video 2 hours long, because y'all not trying to watch a Netflix series. Unless you're trying to watch a Netflix series. So if the first angle I provided, kind of looking at it as a illusion per se, doesn't necessarily resonate with you, that's money, that's cool. I'll try to come with additional pieces that can assist with this, that you could actually implement into your life. So I had to bring in, obviously, one of the GOATs to provide another tool for the shed. And Mama came in there with a great example about game-winning shots and free throws, vibing on the fact that, you know, someone may get nervous because of the story they're telling themselves about the situation. And in this particular example, like, hey, what if I miss? And you don't have to even play ball to resonate with this. You know, all of us, at least I would hope, in some capacity, have things we're striving for. And some tend to deal with the fear of letting those we love down, getting criticized, whatever it may be. So I invite you to try this different approach. Tell yourself a different story. Tell yourself a story, an angle, whatever it may be that fuels you. See, all these stories that we tell ourselves in our mind and again, we have the physical ability to restructure that and shape it to what we want it to be. So if you're going to tell yourself a story about a situation that may occur subsequent to something, make it one that serves you. I mean, tell yourself like, girl, like, I'm about to switch this. Don't allow yourself to take that structure. Well, what if this happens, then that will happen, then that. Like, no, I'm gonna hit it. And it sounds easy, right? The execution of it is what separates those who see the tangible results from those who don't. Stepping away from this and actually implementing it into your life in those hard situations and keeping yourself accountable is where you're really going to see those benefits. You are already that person that you want to be. Now it's just, what are the things in my life that are holding me back from physically seeing it, experiencing it, and getting the things from that may show up tangibly. And see, there was a Harvard business study that was conducted by Dr. Allison Wood Brooks that shows that when anticipating a scenario, the emotions of nervousness and excitement were actually the same thing from a physiological perspective inside of your body. In this study, Dr. Brooks made students do things that they were terrified of. Public speaking, karaoke. And what she found was when the participants reframed their emotions as excitement, opportunity, and not anxiety, their performance drastically improved. Now, all the participants did was change the story that they were telling themselves about what they were experiencing internally, and it enhanced their performance externally. You know, for those that don't resonate with the first example provided by Sadhguru, don't try to eliminate it then. Reframe the narrative into one that serves you. And if you do, stay consistent with it. Don't say, oh, I tried it one time and then it didn't. No. Try it, rock with it. Because it may often be something that takes a little bit of time to create progression within certain situations. But I can tell you that if you remain consistent with something that does even have a little bit of a fractional difference for you, you will start to notice your level up fast. As always, much love.